was I wrong for how I moved at this girl's birthday dinner? So I get invited via my homegirl to go to this girl's dinner.
Anytime a story starts with, was I wrong? You already know something wild happened. Let's see how bad it gets.
I don't know her like that. I think I met her once through my homegirl a while ago. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go because you're inviting me. So I
Okay, pause. That's your first mistake right there. Showing up for someone you barely even know just to be nice. That's how people end up paying for drama they didn't even order.
go, I get the girl a little gift or whatever. When I pull up, the first thing I realize is, first of all, everybody's on time, and second of all, a lot of people showed up for this girl's birthday dinner. It was over 12 people, probably over 15. I've never seen this many people at a birthday dinner at a restaurant in my life. As the night's going, people are buying their drinks and things like that. But what I started noticing is people's orders. I'm a very observant person, so I started noticing people's orders, and people they was ordering 2 and 3 appetizers, 3 and 4 drinks, the best, biggest T-bone steaks with the gold on it, and this and truffle fries and this and this.
Oh, I already know where this is going. The everybody orders what they want crowd. But watch when that bill drops. This is that moment where your intuition starts whispering. Something about this dinner? It feels expensive.
Everybody was doing their thing. So something I don't know what it was at some point of the night after people was finishing up their plates and ordering their last drinks and stuff like that. I had to go to the bathroom, but something hit me on my way to the bathroom. Like just stop and pay for your meal. Just stop by the bar, pay for your meal, tip out, do that. That's what I did. So by the time
That little voice? That's called wisdom. When your spirit tells you to handle your business early, listen. It's never wrong.
I go to the bathroom, pay for my bill, tip out and stuff like that, the waiter is coming around to the table wanting to know how we're going to do the bill because the bill can only get split 2 ways. And he made that very clear. The bill can only get split 2 ways. So the girl looks down at the other end of the table where we're sitting and she says, oh, well, 2 of the guests, they can put it on their card and everybody can cash app them and they can deal with the bill because I'm not worried about that. I'm the birthday girl.
Oh no. That's the moment right there. Because once Cash App enters the chat, it's over. Nobody ever sends the full amount, and half the table forgets the tip.
I heard it, but everybody around at the table act like they didn't. And I was completely not worried because again, my bill is paid for, tipped and everything. I'm just kind of waiting on my homegirl. So after time
See, that's the quiet entitlement. Oh, I'm the birthday girl turns into, oh, I'm not paying. And everyone is just sitting there acting deaf, like the math is gonna magically math itself.
nobody's putting up the card, nobody even touched the check, right? So finally a dude that was there, he opened it being funny and it was over $3,500. That's how much the bill was. It was over $3,500. When he said that, I just busted out laughing. I don't know why I find it to be so funny. I think it's because I knew it was about to be a shit show.
$3,500 for one night out? Oh, no, no, no. That's not dinner. That's a down payment. That laugh right there? That's not humor. That's survival. That's the thank God I paid early laugh.
So the person comes back around and notices that nobody's touching the bill and it's like, hey, what are we doing about the bill? So she
That's always the awkward part, the silence after the waiter shows up. Everyone suddenly turns into financial ghosts, looking down at their phone like they didn't just order gold covered steak.
looks down towards our end again, which I don't know why she kept looking down towards our end. So finally, she's like, "All right, well, who's gonna put down on the bill?"
Why is she always looking down at his end though? Like, ma'am, your eyes should be on your plate, not your plus one's wallet.
So I don't say nothing. My homegirl, she don't say nothing, and then so finally, another girl in the group was like, "Well, my homegirl, well, can we put it on your card and everybody just pay you back?" My homegirl, she say no, like no, I'm not really comfortable with that.
Good for her. because that, oh, everyone will pay you back line has ruined more friendships than breakups ever did.
So things are starting to get heated now. There's a back and forth going between the restaurant, who's going to be paying, things like that. A lot of people are getting frustrated. Things are getting heated. So
That's the part when you realize grown adults can't survive a group dinner. Nobody's doing math, but everyone is raising their voice.
what do? I say, I'm going to excuse myself. Because, first of all, I'm not about to be sitting in a food, restaurant, public setting and embarrass myself because y'all don't have y'all shit together.
And honestly, I respect that. That's not rude, that's self preservation. Sometimes walking away isn't attitude, it's peace.
Right? I don't do that. I don't play that. My shit is already taken care of. My bill is taken care of, tipped out, tipped beautifully. My bill came up to 100, and I'll never forget it was $115 without tip, right? So I was like, I'm gonna excuse myself. Get up, leave, call the Uber and all. My homegirl, because this is her friend, so she's staying trying to figure things out and stuff like that, arguing things like that with people. I'm not doing that, so I excuse myself and I leave because y'all need to figure this out. As I'm getting up to leave, well, what are you doing? Well, how are you leaving? You need to help pay for this bill, things like that. The waiter, before I could even say that, the waiter's like, his bill's already taken care of. He took, he paid his bill and tipped out almost 45 minutes ago.
That's the kind of silence money cannot buy. When a waiter has to defend you, that's how you know you handled it right.
Everybody's shocked, looking like I'm hitting the door by now. I'm gone. I'm out. By the time I get home, about an hour, I would say later,
You can just picture it. Plates have eaten, people froze, and he was already halfway to the Uber. That's what peace looks like today.
get a long text message from my homegirl. I think that it was real rude what you did at my homegirl's birthday dinner. I don't know where that type of etiquette came from. Da, 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 da. I texted her back a simple IDC.
Oh, here we go. When people can't control you, they call you rude. But respect goes both ways. If you didn't pay for your food, you don't get to grade mine.
To begin, anybody that knows me enough that we're going out and hanging out knows that I'm really zero tolerance for any type of BS.
That's fair. Everyone has a limit. Some people argue, some just leave. Both are boundaries. One just looks quieter.
That's to begin with. Like, anybody knows that Storm will remove himself out of any situation that is unbecoming. You're at this table arguing and getting into it with these people at this nice, fancy restaurant. She knew that I was going to leave. She knows that I don't play that. She knows that. And that's why she wasn't mad that I left. She specifically was not mad that I left. She was mad that I did not contribute to the big bill.
That's the truth right there. Most people aren't mad you left. They're mad because you didn't let them benefit from you before you did.
That's why she was mad. She sat there and threw her hands up and would made it very crystal clear that she wasn't going to use her card. But in the same breath, turned around and was arguing at people about who was going to pay the bill at the table, and not once was saying, "Oh, I'm gonna pay you back. I'll cash app you. Let me Zelle you." So my thing is, why are you so worried about who's going to pay this bill, but at the same time you're not reconfirming anything that you're going to pay them back?
See, that's the part that gets me. Loud about who's paying, quiet about who's paying back. That's not leadership, that's entitlement in heels.
Just like your homegirl. And another thing I want to point out, she wasn't going to leave that dinner regardless, even if I told her that I paid for my bill, which is
That's pride. When people care more about appearances than accountability, they'll stay in the fire just to look like they're not burning.
why I didn't tell her. Because this again is her good homegirl. This is her best friend. So she's at the table trying to figure this all out with her homegirl. So I'm like, I'm not the best friend in this situation. I'm just the plus one. I don't know nobody at this table. My homegirl knows everybody at this table. So her dealing with all these people, that's her business. And lastly, we did not fall out because of this. Our relationship, our friendship did not end because of this situation. After like the next day, we kind of like giggled it off and we kind of agreed to disagree because to this same day, even after she seen this video, we got on the phone and she was like, Storm, you could have paid more on that bill. And I'm like, girl, what do you mean I could have paid more on the bill?
And that right there is why you set boundaries early. Because once people get used to you being generous, they start treating it like a duty. You didn't do anything wrong. You just stopped paying tuition at the school of unfair expectations. It's funny how people love to say, oh, it's just dinner. But the truth is, moments like this always reveal something bigger. You don't find out who respects you when things are easy. You find out when the check hits the table, because that's where real character shows up. Not in the words, not in a smile, but in the silence when responsibility walks in the room. And notice, the people who call you rude for setting boundaries are usually the same ones who benefit when you don't have any. This wasn't about money. It was about energy. Some people think generosity means being the provider for everyone, when really it means being wise enough to know when to walk away. So don't let anyone guilt you for having standards. Protect your peace. Pay your bill. And if it ever starts to feel like you're the only adult at the table, that's your sign to leave. It's been your girl Remi Rene here. I'll see you guys in my next video.